So, how can a line of code actually help protect a forest? Or how can a tiny sensor in a river help defend a basic human right? Well, today we're going to dive into a fascinating project from Uzbekistan called Yashil Nazarat, which means green control. It's using some seriously cutting-edge technology to do exactly that, to empower citizens to protect their own environment. Let's see how they're pulling it off.
For thousands of years, people in this region they've etched their stories and their relationship with nature right onto the land itself. I mean, look at these ancient petroglyphs. It's this deep, long-standing connection. And believe it or not, that very same connection is right at the heart of a very, very modern fight for environmental justice.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the right that's under threat. Then we'll get into the green control idea itself. We'll break down the technology that makes it so trustworthy, see who really benefits from this platform, and finally, take a peek at what the future of justice could look like here.
So let's start at the beginning and really understand the core problem. The right to a clean, healthy environment. That's fundamental. But in Uzbekistan and frankly across Central Asia, that right is facing a massive crisis.
And this slide, wow, it just captures the stark contrast perfectly. On one side, you've got this breathtaking natural beauty that the region is famous for. But on the other side, a completely different story. That's the ship graveyard of the Aral Sea, a truly haunting symbol of ecological collapse. This is the reality they're dealing with every day.
So it really makes you ask what actually happens when the environment gets pushed to its breaking point. Because the impact, it isn't just on the landscape, it's deeply, deeply human.
And the consequences are severe. We're talking about really bad air pollution, critical water shortages, and desertification that's threatening people's entire way of life. But the problem goes even deeper than that. There's often a major lack of public access to good environmental data, and not a lot of oversight when rules get broken. This means the most vulnerable people, like women and folks in rural communities, they get hit the hardest, and they have the fewest tools to fight back.
But this is where the story starts to shift. Faced with all these challenges, a really innovative new idea was born, Yashil Nazaret, or Green Control, and it's designed from the ground up to be a powerful new tool for the people.
So at its core, Green Control is this incredible platform built to empower ordinary citizens, basically turning them into the eyes and ears of environmental protection. It literally puts the power of monitoring right into their hands.
So how does it all work? Let's break it down. First, the system is constantly gathering environmental data in real time. Second, and this is the absolute game changer, it creates unchangeable, totally verifiable proof of any violations. Third, it takes complex legal stuff and boils it down into simple explanations for everybody. And finally, it gives people a direct channel to report problems to the authorities, and you can even do it anonymously.
Okay, but how can you guarantee that data is actually trustworthy? That it can't just be deleted or messed with? Well, the answer lies in some pretty clever technology.
The first piece of this puzzle is blockchain. Now, don't let the word scare you. The idea is actually really simple. Just think of it like a digital public notebook. Once something is written down in that notebook, it's there forever. It can't be changed or erased by anyone. And that creates this unbreakable chain of trust.
And this is exactly why that's so important. By using blockchain, Green Control makes sure that every single piece of environmental data, every pollution reading, every single report becomes a permanent, undeniable fact. It becomes evidence that you just can't argue with.
So, where's all this data coming from? That's where the Internet of Things, or IoT, comes into play. These are basically small, automated sensors that get placed out in the environment to constantly collect real-time data on things like air and water quality. They're the frontline data gatherers, and they feed all that objective information straight into that super secure blockchain system.
So when you combine these technologies, you get this huge advantage. It delivers three crucial things: total transparency, since all the data is open for anyone to see; unshakable reliability, because it can't be manipulated; and most importantly, real accountability. It creates a factual foundation that authorities and companies simply cannot ignore.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but who does it actually help out in the real world? Let's break down the impact on all the key groups involved here.
This platform is really designed for everyone. For citizens, it's like a shield and a sword. It gives them warnings about environmental risks, but it also lets them submit that undeniable evidence. For government agencies, it's an objective source of truth that lets them respond way faster and more accurately. And for businesses, it actually gives them a clear opportunity to step up and show they're being environmentally responsible.
And what's crucial is that this isn't some complex tool just for tech experts. No, it's built to be accessible for everyone, available through a simple mobile app and a website. The whole design is user-friendly, with clear graphics, and they've even made versions for people with disabilities, making sure that nobody gets left behind.
Green Control isn't just about solving the problems of today either. It's a platform that was built with the future in mind, and it has a pretty bold vision for what's coming next.
The team behind it has some really ambitious plans. They're looking to add specific modules that are focused on protecting women, who we know are often hit hardest by climate change. They also have this vision of expanding it from a national platform into a regional monitoring system for all of Central Asia. I mean, can you imagine that? A powerful network for change? The ultimate goal, though, is simple, and it's profound: ensuring climate justice for every single person.
And you know, in the end, it all comes back to this one powerful idea from the project's creators. We need not just laws, but innovative tools to ensure their implementation. Green Control is exactly that tool. It's the bridge between rights that are just written on paper and actual justice delivered in the real world, all powered by technology and by the people themselves. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other fundamental rights could we defend with just a little bit of code and a whole lot of vision?